good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a weekend, this is the season sort of, a weekend of politics, and at least sort of we've come out of Ekiti now. Now moving on to, Osun to see what's going on. Both parties, that is the two main parties, talking about APC and PDP, would appear to have determined who their flag bearer shall be, right? Well, that's what we'll be talking about this morning, and if there are any loose ends that need to be tied up. My guest, Dr. Jide Johnson, Deputy Provost, Nigerian Institute of Journalism. My brother, thank you as always. Good morning.
It's a pleasure. Good morning, and good morning to our esteemed viewers on this morning.
Indeed. And Mr. Gbenga Sholoki, public affairs commentator and spokesperson for Coalition for Peaceful Elections. Thank you very much for coming on as well.
Good morning.
Indeed. Let me start with you because of your NGO, Coalition for Peaceful Elections. How would you describe the processes? Actually, two parties were busy last week in Osun, and interesting. At least I'd never seen anything as close. It would appear that the candidate of the APC, of the PDP emerged by 7-vote majority. Not 7,000, not 700, yeah. 7 AJ. What do you think is going on there?
Well, I think basically that is politics at its best. I think it was a good contest. The challengers also, I mean, the runner-up actually gave the winner a run for his money. And that's what we have seen. And that's what ought to be in any political contest. There should be no too much margin. It shows that the two candidates are credible candidates who either of them can emerge at any point in time, exactly. Which has really happened. Though the runner-up is crying foul, yes. He has promised to use internal mechanism of the party to resolve whatever he feels was an infraction on his rights. Well, I think that is best done. That is good. That results into self-help or violence. What we witnessed in Osun last week, at least, we witnessed about 3 parties, because the Alliance for Democracy also had theirs. They were peaceful processes, and it was free, fair.
Indeed.
And credible, so to say. As of today, we have not had issues of violence in any way.
At all. Even though we hear that in the PDP primaries, they had to stop at a certain time. And
there were skirmishes here and there, but it was really put under watch. On the other hand, the APC had a very, very peaceful and transparent election, which was more all-inclusive, because all the party members participated, though there were altercations.
One or two issues. Let me bring that to Dr. Johnson. Exactly. Going on to the APC side of town, Boygade Isaka Oyetola has emerged. Yeah. But the secretary to the government would seem to, I don't know if I can say in the aftermath of the exercise, the secretary to the government, Moshood Adeoti, has resigned.
Well, we must commend the Osun State people across board for the peaceful conduct. There were 4. This party that Omishore picked their SDP. Yeah. There were 4 primaries over the course of last week, and the primaries were successful. In fact, a lot of people entertained fears concerning the direct primaries of APC. Just truly to had that fears that are we going to provide security concerning, and it was peaceful to the surprise of many. So Osun State people should be commended for that, and we hope that will translate into the main election. Coming to the APC, about 5 weeks ago, I traveled to Offa. I'm not holding brief for any candidate. I traveled to Offa, Federal Polytechnic Offa, and you go through the length and breadth of Osun if you are going to Offa. As I was going, I saw different posters. I saw the party secretariat of each of the candidate secretary, the aspirant secretariat, and I told my friend I would travel. I said, this guy, the eventual seems to be more prepared because there were a lot of branded vehicles. In actual sense, his office was even finer than that of the state secretariat. He had billboards all over the state, and I said, this guy seems to be the
organized.
He's much more prepared for in actual sense, he's prepared as if he's contesting the election. 3 weeks ago, I traveled again. By the time I traveled, all other aspirants, the APCON have placed them this remove and his own billboards were still evident. And I told my friend, you know, even in political balance, you know what people say? Want to disqualify an aspirant. They've disqualified, you know, the other aspirant that is only his own that. From what I've seen, this is the guy that will likely emerge from the level of preparation shouldn't surprise anybody concerning his emergence, the depth of preparation which he had concerning that election. However, like the fallout from the election, that the secretary to the state government, Moshood Adeoti, felt aggrieved about the process because the process was about primaries, that there's an anointed candidate. And if you look at the undercurrent of Osun State, the Iwo people are clamoring that it's their turn to be, specifically the Iwo people felt in Osun West. So, and he's from that axis, and they believe it's their rightful claim to that. Yes. And my take on this...
As late as this morning, as you were saying, he still is saying that, you know...
And my take on that is that it is the party that is able to manage, and that's what we said concerning the election, that is able to manage its post-primary crisis that wins the election. You don't go into an election as a house divided against itself. So there's the need for the leaders of both parties across board to reach out to the people that did not win in that election so that they can have a united front, and so that we won't use time settling crisis. We will use time to campaign to articulate the policies and the programs that the parties have for the people of Osun State. And I think that's my candid advice to the leaders of APC as well as to the leaders of PDP in that state.
When you look at it, because I imagine you're keeping your eye, you know, in view of the kind of organization you run, you know, peaceful elections. That's the coalition of groups. When you look at the field in Osun, which parties' preparations sort of give you the sense of all of them? We've just heard that not just APC or PDP, there's also, I think, SDP is also involved there. Yeah. Is it a vigorous field? All the contest? What do you think?
Well, basically, I think when you look at the political atmosphere in Osun, it still tilts towards the ruling party.
Okay, that Osun is an APC state.
Yeah, it's an APC state. But politics, there are 24 hours in politics. It's
an eternity.
So surprise might come. Looking at the pedigree of somebody who was of the candidate of the PDP, who is also not a pushover when it comes to politics. You could remember July last year, what he did at the Lagos, at the Osun West, where he emerged as senator representing Osun West. So we should not look over that. But three, we must look at the programs and projects executed by the incumbent governor.
Okay.
We also play a significant role in the run-up to the election. Two, we must also look at the fact that the APC has the central government at its back, and to a greater extent, the government of the day is still doing well, which also translates into votes. But by and large, Osun people are still calm, they are peaceful, they are watching the event as they are unfolding, and they know, I'm very sure that when the time comes, what we don't want is violence. They will go out to exercise their civic responsibility. But you see, like those who are also aggrieved, they are genuine. They have genuine concern. Because if I were there, I would also complain. The rule of the game was not spelled out on the Thursday, a day preceding the day for the primary. So those aggrieved aspirants also have a right to also
You're talking about which party now?
The APC.
In APC.
I followed it.
You know, in fact, that almost brings it just about brings me to the next question I was going to ask. That look, something like that happened also in Ekiti, in the sense that they had to postpone. To tidy up some aspects. I was actually going to ask you, gentlemen, are there marked ways in which there is a difference between the political field in Osun and the political field in Ekiti, for instance?
Definitely.
There are 16 local governments in Ekiti. There are 33 local governments in Osun, and the dimensions. And in Osun State, Ekiti is, like we said, Ekiti is... they play dialectical politics. Dialectical politics, there is only one dialect they speak in Ekiti. In Osun, there you have it's a multi-dialect society. You have Osun West, like he said. There are a lot of gladiators. Don't forget the Ife-Ijesha axis. The Ife axis is controlled by Omishori. Ife axis is controlled by Omishori. So all of these factors will play a role. The internal dynamics of politics in terms of zoning. The Osun West people feels that is their turn to be gone. Let's flash back to 2014. If you could recall, in 2014, now PDP was not able to manage its primaries for that election. You recall Oyinlola decamped from PDP. Isaac Adeleke decamped for, in actual sense, he was harassed, he was molested during the primaries of PDP. He decamped to APC, and when the result of 2014 election, it was overwhelming. APC defeated PDP overwhelmingly. So it's critical for the political gladiators to understand that you can't take the people for granted. The ultimate power resides with the people. But you must manage your internal crisis, because the leaders that form the party have their followers. If you make one of the leaders aggrieved, himself and his follower will shift camp. And we saw what happened in Ekiti. PDP was not, Adeyeye, the second runner-up, left the party. A senator left the party. So are you got two of the senators left the party. And you see, it was evidently clear. You might not say it's insignificant, but if you look at the difference in the vote, that 19,000, those people could have provided that 19,000. That's the significant element of that election. Yeah. So you cannot take anybody from. We are talking about 7. Even if you had won with 1, you will have been the candidate.
Mr. George, good morning, sir. Thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Apiori, and greetings to your guests.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I think it's in the best interest of APC member, the way they did the primary in Osun. I think it's judging from the build up to it, that was the best that they could devise to come out with a candidate. Yeah. Because if they had gone the way they went in Ekiti, I'm not too sure by now they would have been able to resolve it. So they need to reach out to those who are not happy with the results, especially the secretary to the state government, that they should invite change. Then the winner to reach out the way Fayemi reached out to his colleagues in Ekiti, so that they can go, because Osun people, as I have learned over time, they are very politically dynamic. They take decisions based on sound reasoning. Yeah, you remember that was one state that refused to go with PDP when all the other states in the southwest decided to go the way Obasanjo commanded them. They said, no, we are not following you. So there are people that know what they are doing politically. The APC, they want to win that election, should not hinge only on the performance of Aregbesola. They should become, more open-minded and deal with the people. The man that emerged as PDP candidates now, you remember he left the APC in anger. And the principle under which he left, the people in his zone seems to agree with him, and that was why they voted for him on the platform of PDP. So when you are dealing with Osun people, you have to be very careful. That's my advice for the APC.
Thank you very much thank you, Mr. George. What would you say on that commentary?
Well, I think
it's a succinct point.
It's a very,
and it's in tandem with the fact that it's in Osun, the politics. It's not that it's more complicated, but you just have to understand that it's a different ball game.
You see, when you look at Osun people, they are still very much united at this small community, the communal way of living. That's why he was talking about
32 local governments.
No, he was talking about the Igbo people. One thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was the agenda was West Local. That is the turn of the West or West Osun. So now it was now zeroed down to Igbo. So now what we expect the governor and the party leadership to do there is to placate the people of Igbo with another very, very sensitive and important portfolio in the coming administration. 2, they should also placate all the aspirants from that region. So say that, look, you all participated, you are all better, you are all good, but the fact remains that one person must emerge. And our politicians must also see political office beyond being there.
Yeah.
That we can also can always contribute your quota to a government of yours if truly you are sincere. And also we should also appeal to those who have left to also come back to that.
So
fold.
fence mending. That
Fence
is
mend, yeah,
a lot of
crucial.
fence mending is
very
crucial.
It's very critical at this point in time.
Yakub in Dokwemo, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chigoy.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to everyone in the studio. I think Osun election is going to be very interesting because the Omishori in other side, the Adeleke one side, and then the chief of staff to Osun state government on other side. But I still believe at the end of the day, APC will carry the day. For one reason, the reason is this: look at their primary. They took the primary to the people. For the fact that there is still some complaint because of the people that participated in that primary, that complained that the delegate, this is supposed to be pasted before the primary election. But I think the Adeleke, the last time Adeleke won that election, I can tell you that he got the sympathy vote that time. That is the truth. Because the way he left that party that time, people believe that how could you do this to this kind of people? And then they fought for him, sympathy that his brother died, and then he had to carry on the mandate of his brother, and then we have to give him the vote again, and then that's why they give that vote to him. But having said that, the PDP primary, they also have complaints that they have for all these delegate ballot paper. How many people are credited and another? They are not providing it to the people, and then they don't know how many people really fought in that primary. That is some of their complaints. So both parties have the complaint, but I believe the APC primary is still much credible than the other. Thank you and God bless you.
Well,
okay, Dr. Johnson.
It's important for us to understand that you cannot wish away the Adeleke family from Osun's politics. It's a factor. And the dynamics of Osun politics is broken down into so many dynamics. There's the Ede factor, there's the Iwo factor, which he made mention of. There's the Fedesha axis. As unpopular as we might think that Omishori is outside of Osun State, is extremely popular within Ife axis. Is an Iroko tree within that axis. And then if you go to Central, you still look at the Ikirun dimension and then the Yola dimension of that axis. If you take that axis for Babakonde and some other, so there are a lot of dynamics that, because you see that Aregbesola defeated an incumbent governor in 2007. And because of these dynamics which we are talking about. So these parties must understand that it's not a Tea Party affair. You must take your policies and program to the people of Osun State. Don't forget that majority of the people in Osun are pensioners that work in the old Western region. The brain box of the old Western region are from Osun. People don't understand. So the old brain box, the bulk of the workers in old Oyo State were from that Osun axis. And that is why in 1979, both the governor and the deputy were from the same axis. Yeah. So people should not, the dynamics and the understanding of politics of Osun is very, very deep, extremely deep. That is why you could see that they voted for Adeleke when it was carpeted from APC for that election. So there are dynamics, and you win election based on sympathy.
Oh yes, there can be the emotional factor. So the emotional factor can be very, very strong. Tokwe in Akure, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Am I on to Uncle Yori?
Good morning, sir. Yes, you are. You're on to this morning on TVC.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, my reaction this morning.
Sure.
My reaction this morning, Uncle Yori. Yeah, I want to greet the panel that you have brought this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Please continue.
I said, I want to greet the panel that you have brought this morning.
Welcome, you're welcome. We'll greet you.
Yeah, I want to say that the PDP winner in the Osun primary should have been enough with the Senate seat he's holding as at now. Because I wish there is a law that will prevent people holding a post, especially at the Senate or House of Reps from leaving their post to contest another higher post. Because when you look at it, you have not finished a tenure. You are going into another tenure again. I would have wished that runner-up won that election. And I want to say, with what has happened in Osun State, they are really making a way for the APC to win that election. Because when you look at it, there are many people that are better than the incumbent Senate that succeeded his brother. So I wish them well, and I equally want to congratulate them for a peaceful election.
Okay.
God bless you, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in. We appreciate your call. But the laws are what they are at the moment. So he was, as you said, you just wish, but because maybe you think there was some undue advantage as a result of
well, you cannot rule that out.
Okay, I want to
because as a sitting senator, he might enjoy privileges. I want to align with him to a greater extent, but it is still the law.
It is the law.
What's the law?
There was nothing wrong.
Says.
Nothing.
Any law that stops anybody from contesting, that disenfranchises people, is antithetical to fundamental. No, I'm coming. The fact that even that we have a law which is part of the vestiges of military regime, if you are until Supreme Court rule recently, that you cannot join a political party as a civil servant, or you cannot, why should I resign? If the incumbent president cannot resign to contest election as re-election, why should any other person in the nation resign to contest?
That is why I'm saying that everybody, because it gives undue advantage. You are a sitting governor, you are running for another election.
Yes.
You are using state fund.
People talk about the incumbency factor.
You are using state fund to prosecute that election. Why, as a civil...
Well, you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, so you don't know for sure that they are.
And
we're being intellectual about it now. We're being intellectual about it. You don't know that they are. They will say they are not.
Yes, they will say they are not. But they definitely will use state mercenaries.
I look forward to...
Wait, they will go about with their retinue of aids and security details against somebody who's running, who from the private sector, who's just coming
from scratch, from ground zero.
So definitely that confers undue advantage on them.
I look forward to.
I look
forward to election where the IGP will withdraw all the police details of the governor.
Yes.
Like it was done in Anambra State, until the president intervened, like it was done in Ekiti State. I'm looking forward to that as well. When the IG will withdraw the police detail and all the security details, and then the security will cordon off Osun State, because talking about using state resources to conduct, that's
I'm not supporting anything. I'm saying that
he's saying that it comes with the territory in Nigeria now, the way the laws are now. It comes with the territory that an incumbent is more likely than not to use resources.
Anybody has the right to contest for any election.
Yes.
We can say this.
Yes.
Before you aspire, if you are in the Senate, if you want to contest as governor, go and resign as a senator.
If you want to contest as a president, resign the election, resign for 3 months, let your deputy take over, and someone else do it. So there can't be 2 laws for...
No, that's what I'm saying.
So if you propose it that way, the president should resign, the governor should resign, and then within that 3 months, either the speaker will take over and will do election, and we win.
Talk in Akure, you see what you have caused now, but it was a slight detour. The point is taken, but the laws are what they are.
Yes.
You know, Senator Adeleke is well within his rights.
I always shout that. What are these senators, what are these members doing?
There
are so many sections of the Constitution that ought to have been altered.
Well.
Let me give you a graphic example. You say Mr. President has the right to declare emergency, come back for power of the Senate, of the National Assembly. What type of retrogressive law is that? And you have not done that. You have not repealed or reviewed that section of the Constitution. So we must go beyond that. So I want to align with him that yes, if you want to contest, put in yours so that you don't get...
But that's just an idea for the future.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Aniel in Ekiti, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning, sir. Carry on, please.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Sir, choosing Adeleke as a... Choosing Adeleke as a candidate for choosing Adeleke as a candidate of People's Democratic Party, I wish is the best because the man is very, very intelligent and popular in the Osun.
The man is very, very intelligent and popular. So for PDP, for choosing him, for calling him for Senate to come and contest for the governorship, they have their own reason.
Okay.
They know that they go to be a good thing.
Okay. And you're probably happy that it all went peacefully on both sides, both primaries.
Yeah. So I believe it's a better candidate for PDP also so far.
Okay. You're just you are concerned with your man. Thank you very much for calling in, sir. We're not particular about any candidate. We're looking at the whole process and how well it has gone, and also the remarkable process about Senator Adeleke winning on recount by 7 votes. That's a razor-thin margin.
Senator Koforola Bokno went to the Senate in the 90s with 8 votes.
Yeah. General election.
As for
8 votes are delegate SDP primaries.
You recall that well. You remember that.
So in democracy, in plurality system, you just need one madman to vote for
to upset the apple cart.
Exactly. And once it comes to, because I have said it, that is democracy is the type of democracy the one. Is it truly a representative democracy? The people out of 180 million Nigerians, you know who decided who the president? How many? Do the math. 15 million people. It was 15 million. 15 million. 50 just 15
Mazi
million.
Okoroafo in Arochukwu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, our provost, and good morning, the other guests in the street.
The man is deputy provost, too.
It's a pleasure to be with you,
Mr. Gbemiga Oguleye is the provost, too.
Except he has a job for me in
Unless you have a job for him in Arochukwu.
At least, and the next one will be Osun. Honestly, what is baffling me as a Nigerian is that when you come for all these party elections, people continue to complain. Now, I start asking myself, what is the essence of delegates? Delegates will go, before they come, they say that we conducted election, they have a candidate to read on them. Like what I saw, one man was complaining on the screen about Bayelsa State government, that he was confused. Now, the question now is there any need for delegates? I don't know, because there's no need for delegates, because by the time they come to conduct the election for primary for the substantial for aspirants, there is only a lot of confusion. People will now say, go here, go here, go here, go here. Now, the issue of money will start exchanging hands from that place before you go to the election. So sometimes I ask myself, why is it that people come out and say they belong to a party? That means they are not just for monetary aspects, not for really for the progress of the party and for the progress of this country. It's very, very annoying. Because the so-called delegates, that is where the corruption on part of the party money continue going. Now we cannot stop it. People will tell the poverty, what is for? Poverty has nothing to do with all this money exchange. Somebody will come and say this one is bad, this one is bad. What do you have on ground? People now should listen that the man coming to be a governor or whether anything, what do you have? What do you have for the people? How are you going to solve those problems? They come and start listening of visitors and there's no solution. It's so terrible that money is what is everybody, whether delegates or the voters. It's very, very powerful in a country like ours. You can just Ghana here. The head of state was presenting a paper in the University of Oxford. He was making reference to Nigeria, how things move. That Nigeria, when you go there, the oil countries are that it's very, very bad. We shall think a giant of Africa, we must stand as a giant of Africa, not made talking. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mazi, for calling in. And two points just occurred to me. Let's stay with the one that Mazi raised. The whole issue, again, looking at the differences, if any, or you have explained that they are actually quite different in certain regards. I wonder, talking about politics of ideas, you know, to present your ideas, let people evaluate them. We made much fun of the term stomach infrastructure that appeared to be quite significant in Osun, I mean in Ekiti. Although there are, well, it depends on how you look at it. Some have said that, look, which party doesn't engage in stomach infrastructure by other names, that kind of a thing. It's just that it had an awada keri sort of aspect.
It was state-owned.
Yes, this whole thing. So him talking about ideas, I guess the question really is that this whole stomach infrastructure idea, does it hold as much ground, you know, in Osun, or as you have explained, these are different people. You've sort of said that you got to see them for what they are: cerebral, their experience, they're pensioners, they're old-time workers in the Western region. What do you think?
Well, I want to say that, like Doctor has mentioned earlier, these people are dynamic. They are very, very cerebral, and they are very understanding. They will not fall for that. You could remember in 2014, when the rampaging Jonathan regime was coming to Osun, it was the Osun women dared them, dared his hooded mass DSS. So it shows people who are ready to resist any form of intimidation. So definitely, they are quite different people, definitely. But you see, we must, as a people, promote programs and projects. We must also be able to say, okay, Party, what do you have for us?
That is exactly.
I could remember in the past, maybe in the Awolowo eras, maybe 79 and co. You will see people coming out with ideas. This is what we're going to do. But in these days, most of the parties are not campaigning with on a particular program. Or rather, they will even mount it.
Is there a sense in which APC, that is the ruling party there, has an advantage because Aregbesola is in there, has been working, and so there's a lot you can point to, and succession will probably...
Instead of talking about what he has done, we should be also, the candidates should also have a blueprint of how we want to continue or we want to transform the state. Because Aregbesola has transformed the state from being a civil servant state to an economic hub now.
We don't do campaign, we do carnivals. They will bring musicians.
Let's come back and talk about it some more. We'll go on a quick break. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Still in the studio with Gbenga Sholoki and Dr. Jide Johnson, and we're looking at the primaries over the weekend of the in Osun, the ruling APC and the opposition PDP. It's not as if it's alone, but there are other people contesting for that. And we were looking at how do you arrive in for example, the State House in Osun. You're going to arrive, or you should, or it is desirable that you will arrive on ideas that have been sold. When we have all these rallies, I don't know, I think you were saying that people go to carnivals.
It's carnival, yeah.
Carnivals, where there's a popular musician.
You bring musicians to come and play, and if you see Party A holding his rally today, you see Seas of Ed, you see Party A, Party B, you see it's the same set of people. They go there most of the time to look at the musician. And how many minutes the candidate even use to articulate their view? You see, there's a challenge we have in Nigeria concerning the political system. If Abiola were to contest today, we will lose the election because we are not playing politics of idea. Now, you need the social, it is the middle class that sustain democracy, the middle class.
Where is that one in Nigeria? Where is that middle class?
We don't have. Babangida's policy completely destroyed the middle class, and our present democratic experience completely annihilate the middle class. Is it that you are rich or you are poor? I have challenged journalists to go and do an investigation on the party leaders of party and look at their welfare. Party chairman, LGA chairman, and what are at the world level, and the ESCOs and the delegates until the one we have in Osun. These were the people that go and look at their social status within the society, and you'll be shocked. It is the middle class that could analyze, that could sustain, that you have to appeal to them based on ideology. But in Nigeria, it's either you are poor or you are rich.
Josephine in Aja. Good morning, ma'am.
Uncle Yori, long time.
Good morning.
How are you?
Welcome back.
I'm your guest.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, my own contribution is that Osun people, they should allow Osun people to decide who will be their next governor. Like I heard Yakubu, he's saying that APC will have the day. I don't know whether it's from Osun State.
No. I mean, look. Everybody is making their own comment, but you have heard that you can't push Osun people around. Madam Josephine, maybe you've heard that Osun people cannot be pushed around. Is what we've heard here.
Yes, Osun people cannot be pushed around. So you don't come and say that APC will have the day.
Okay.
You allow them to decide.
Okay. All right.
You don't bring your party politics in a contribution. Allow the people to do their own judgment. They should vote who they want. And I want to emphasize that they should enlighten people. This selling of vote is not helping matter.
All right.
Sell your destiny. Like what we saw in Ekiti State, that they are saying it's Toma Infrastructure. These two parties, everybody is lobbying their way. They should not tie to one party.
All right.
The people, we saw it on net everywhere, and it's not free and fair. Let the people, don't induce people to vote.
Yeah. All right.
We're not getting what we want in governance. We want good governance in every state.
Sure.
That state have been owing salaries. Let them judge. If you cannot pay salaries, you are coming. They should not use federal might. What we saw in the city is a shamble. You are using security. You are using people. People are inducing. You cannot arrest the people to stop it. Allow the people to watch their.
But Madam Josephine, the Ekiti election is over. It has been decided. It has been decided. Fayemi has won that one. Okay. Thank you, Madam Josephine. I'm going to pick up on the point that you've made because it coincides with one I wanted to also air. I think it was the British, or I think speaking through their consul or something like that, that were saying that, look, they are concerned. Vote buying is as bad as rigging the election. So we're not about to sweep under the carpet. Now, this whole vote buying allegation, we have to say, that's the way we have to say it, because I wasn't there when consideration was exchanging hands.
I was there.
Oh, you were there.
I was a victim.
Tell us about it.
Well, I think it's a dangerous dimension that you have added into our political contest, because when we witnessed it in Anambra, it was on a very low scale. The same thing happened in Edo. When parties A and B, the dominant parties, let me use that word, dominant parties, did it in Edo, did it in Anambra, they replicated the same in Ondo in 2016. And this one was on a large scale.
But how do you buy votes? I'm just curious.
I will tell you.
How do you buy votes?
Like I said,
how rich are you? Are you an Arab sheikh or something?
Let me say this. It's the electoral process is monetized. Don't let us deceive ourselves. We must be a heavy spender for you to also even for councillorship alone. You must have a lot of money. So that was what happened. So that's why we have the role of the godfathers. You will see what happened in Ekiti. The governor, who was owing about 6 months' salary, a day preceding the election, 2 days preceding the election, shone out 3,000 naira to all civil servants as transport fare. For what? So if you cannot pay salary, so the following day, the announcement came that Mr. Governor has done this, has done that. Fine. Yes, you are still holding. On the election day, you are not pricing vote. Pray for me, 4,000 naira. The other parties was also saying, okay, if that is it, we have to match you money for money. But it's a crazy idea. Never mind the principles. We were thinking of some parties. You want to think of some parties as party of principles and ideas?
No. They are the same thing. There are no principle
they are the same thing.
Parties in Nigeria.
They are not. They are not.
They are none. They are the same of the same. What is PDP? What is APC?
Well, I'm sure both of them will vehemently disagree with that statement.
Somebody in 1999, it was one person that wrote the constitution of the three parties. Three. AD, ANPP, and PDP. And which politician, with the exception of you, has not crisscrossed this party?
Okay. Olawale in Ikorodu, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
God bless you.
And you.
Hope you are hearing from Baba Okadokun.
Yes. Go, carry on, please.
Yes, I just want to contribute concerning the primary of all the parties.
In Osun.
Do you know the reason why all other parties have cleared the coast for APC to win? One, yes, Ijesha and Pipe, they constitute the Osun North. The last governor or the present governor, outgoing governor,
is it north or east? East.
So it's not possible for Omishore to take over the saddle of leadership again. Okay? Then, in the case of Osun West, where this man comes from, Adeleke. The brother was a former governor. He lost under tragic circumstances. We sympathize with him. May his soul rest in perfect peace. But governorship seat of Osun State is not the exclusive right of the Adeleke. The mere fact that he won the senatorial seat on the basis of sentiment does not translate to general election of governorship. So he should please not overrate his electoral value. God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in.
I want to respond to him. Now, Oyinlola is from Osun Central. Baba Akonde came from Osun Central under this dispensation. So you have two-term governor from Osun Central. If Osun East, Aregbesola has done two-term. In this dispensation, I'm not from Osun, I'm from Lagos State. In this dispensation, Osun West has not done anything. The last time Osun West was governor was 1991-92 when late Senator Isaac Adeleke Sherubahan was the governor. It's important for us for people to understand that they owe the people, the public, to be enlightened. That's the essence of this program. For us to enlighten them and people to take decision that is critical. Now, nobody is making any issue out of payment or non-payment of salaries out of this contest now. But it was a major issue in the last election. However, like Josephine said, at initial stage, before she drifted to partisan point of view, let the Osun people decide who win the election. And we must, like the team which you started with, we must, as a matter of fact, do campaign reforms. For the last presidential election, they said over 500 billion was spent by both parties. It was reported. Yeah. Now, for this election, the president presented a bill of 226. They should share the money to all Nigeria and continue. If you look at the money we invest on it, they should share it. How many are we? 188 million. So let them continue, but they share the 222 billion for the election. Because you wonder, which do you want to conduct election in moon or under the water, or that you spend 220? The money we spend on election is unimaginable. And if we don't do that campaign reforms, if you are caught, that's the essence of INEC. It's meant to be independent National Electoral Commission. You should have your agents. What were the security agents? 30,000 policemen plus the DSS. What were they doing before their very eyes that people were buying vote? It was a failure of the system, and we must look into that. Okay. Because vote buying, if we don't deal with it, we'll continue to have this cycle of non-performance in governance. Once we pay you.
Oyeyemi in Lekki, good morning. Hello, Mr. Oyeyemi, are you still there? No wonder, there was a problem there. Okay. Well, everybody, I mean, you don't even need to explain it. Vote buying is wrong.
It's criminal.
It's criminal. It's criminal. Beyond wrong, it's criminal.
But unfortunately,
you say all parties are involved.
All the
unfortunately
parties are involved. Two, we also look at, when you look at
sorry for interrupting you. So it goes back to the question of, here we are desirous of a campaign based on ideas, on programs. And at the same time, nobody wants to be outdone when it comes to vote buying. Yes, because if somebody has now thrown a fly in this ideal ointment and is paying people something, okay, you too. So what are the principles upon which Gani Fayemi of blessed memory, you can't bring that to him. No. He will say, fine, let it go. But politicians are not going to say,
politicians are not like that. That's why Gani could not get it. Because most politicians are the same. There's no difference. Look at, okay, let me tell you what. The greatest problem we have is about moral standard. We don't have morals again. People feel that it's like that. Let me give you a graphic example. If, perchance, Doctor goes to the Senate and becomes Senate President and drives a rickety car while going there, when you come back, you still drive it. The society will look at you as non-performer, as a failure. But meanwhile, political offices are supposed to be for service delivery, not for personal enrichment. But that is the way we have seen it. We have seen political offices as self-aggrandizement instead of service delivery. Like I mentioned.
But the problem, of course, is that that's not the way it is all
that's what I'm saying, that we must have.
But unfortunately, everybody's been charged with this same brush, because the minority perhaps doesn't have enough traction to override that. We're not all like that.
Until we do direct primaries like they have in Osun, where everybody registered, we capture data and we say every registered voter, party A is having his primary, go and vote.
This what you want here must
no, because we need that campaign reform. Because the process
it requires everybody to be a full-fledged member of their party. Who told you members of the party are paying their dues?
There are some states in America.
Who told you party members are paying dues?
In some states in America, everybody goes. It's direct primary. It's the electorate that go to pick the candidate. For instance, in the state of California, you all first vote for the two candidates that have the highest vote goes to the election, whether they are Democratic Party or not. So we need such campaign reforms because our party system, which is the foundation of our public governance, is corrupt. Is corrupt. It is being financed by some people. And for you to get elected, for me to get elected as a senator in Lagos State, I must have
Maji Njeba, good morning.
Nothing less than 1 billion.
Yes.
Maji Njeba.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. And to your guests, good morning.
Good morning.
I think I had the opportunity of schooling in Osun State, and I know Osun people to be very, very intelligent people when it comes to politics. For me, I've seen all the candidates across parties. I think these guys are very, very intelligent. But I would want them to do more. Because looking at their IGR, I think Arabia has tried, and we need somebody to consolidate on this. This is what we want. Looking at the primaries and the primaries they held, for example, that of the PDP, the people have spoken. So the post-primary conflict is what every party should go and manage now, because they can't afford to lose anybody. But on a bilateral scale, I believe what they need now is they need somebody that can consolidate on what Arabia has done in Osun State. I was there and I saw for myself, though they had issues of salaries, but Arabia tried. They need somebody to continue, irrespective of political party, either PDP or APC or SDP.
You mean Arabia's ideas are to continue?
Yes. They need even above his ideas. Because while I was there, I wanted to see the Osun airport. But honestly, it didn't come to bear. So they need people to think very well and move the state forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in. Now, this whole point, gentlemen, I know it's not really part of this conversation, but we'll talk about direct primaries. That's the ideal and all of that. You must be a member of the party, right?
Yeah.
Before you can,
I mean, at least you come with a party card.
You come with a party card. Does that mean you are paying dues, that you're paying party dues?
That is where we're coming to.
Does that mean you are paying party dues? Or is it not a handful of people that are financing the parties?
That's where I'm coming now. You see, unlike before, when party members were really party members, not name calling now. Before, it was party members that would come with a 10 naira, pay, they would sign your card, give it to you. On the appointed day, you come without your card. You must be up to date financially
before
for you to qualify in that primary
to vote.
Now, so I think we have to go back. Like I said, we must start another campaign entirely.
So, but somebody has, sort of by proxy, paid on behalf of all those people.
That is the problem.
And these people are known. The deep pockets are known. Yes. And so they're going to have influence.
For you to be a councillor in the state, in any state in Nigeria, there's a godfather up there that determines who become the councillor. Yeah. Why not allow the people at the local level? You see, they said
the people at the local level are about to pay their dues to become bona fide members of the party.
That's why I've said
Sorry, sir. Are they ready to put in the work?
That is why.
When I say the work, put your hand in, put your money where your mouth is.
Power back to the people to decide who should be the elective. I was watching your sister's program earlier this morning, where they brought the deputy chairman of Councillors Forum and what have you. And I was laughing because he was talking about the role of a councillor. I was laughing because there's no 1999 constitution does not have a role for the councillors in Nigeria. It doesn't have a role for it. So there are some structure. When people talk about restructuring, it's not about territorial or geographical. It's about systemic restructuring. It's about building institutions. There must be a process. I don't have to bribe my way. It doesn't have to be cash and carry democracy. I don't have to buy my way. It was alleged that in PDP's primary in Osun, each delegate collected 300,000 naira. In APC's primaries in Ekiti State, it was alleged that each delegate collected 200,000 naira. Multiply that, the multiply effect. Why must our politics bill. If you are caught monetizing the process, you should be disqualified.
Okay.
And that was
but
the step Babangida took in 1992-93 concerning the presidential primary.
These were allegations that have not been proven.
But
you know,
the allegations that have not been justified or proved.
Yes. Safiu in Victoria Island, good morning. Safiu, VI. Safiu in Victoria Island.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, and I'm the panelist that I with you today, this morning.
Sure.
Good morning.
There's one thing I just observed in Nigeria politics, and I've never seen all these our intellectual people to talk about it. The country that colonized Nigeria is Britain. It's not America. Why are we still continue practicing democracy that is so expensive to maintain Nigeria? The British that even colonized us, they are using the parliamentary system of government. Why don't we go back to that system of that parliamentary system of government and see if it will work for us, then instead of spending? So there's no way you cannot come to the system. You know, the people are spending money, people are collecting money during the election period. Because you want to be there, you must spend. Nigerians is already in our blood. You know, and NOA, that is the National Organization Agency. They need to do more to certify people that instead of collecting money, telling your bishop, because of little money of 4,000, 5,000 naira, you better stop collecting money. That is the problem we are facing.
Well,
if we even go back to that parliamentary system of government, the one that's part of the UK.
But Safiu, the theory here, the theory on set is that you're either very rich in Nigeria or you're poor. The middle class is missing. And so the very poor are not going to sneeze at 5,000 naira, unfortunately. They're not even going to sneeze at 2,000 naira, unfortunately.
No, that's what I'm saying. Once everybody sees, you can just go back
to the good old days. Okay. Okay.
Esau saw God. He knew God. He saw God face to face. He sold his future. Hunger can make any man sell his future. If Esau, that saw God, sold his future for just a pot of porridge, how much more? You see, the present political system
and it is being exploited.
Perpetuate poverty. Look, I have asked people and I've said it. I owe nobody any allegiance.
You're like President Buhari.
I owe nobody any allegiance.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
If you compare 1979 to 1983 in any state in Nigeria to 1999 to 2018, what was achieved between 1979 and 1983 cannot be compared to what was achieved in any state of Nigeria 1999 to 2007 in terms of infrastructure, in terms of healthcare, in terms of education, in terms of eradicating poverty. It was poor people that were having access to all of those things. And people moved from poverty, that period, people moved from poverty to the middle class. It's completely eradicated. It's either you are up here or you are down here. And once you don't have the middle class, forget democracy. Okay. It's catch and carry.
Mukhtar in Kano, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Lori. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for calling in.
I appreciate what you are doing.
Thank you, sir.
And I concur with Doctor, the journalist.
Yes.
I think he's telling the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth. Because there is a collapse in our system. And I hope this time around, police will not, parade all Osun State like they did in Ekiti. And I believe our system is wrong. Whoever designed our constitution has cheated this nation. Because when we are young in the school, nobody taught you to be committed to your nation, to love your nation, to the best of your ability. And all this that is happening is money politics. And I don't believe that INEC is independent. I don't believe INEC is independent. Because all what you are saying is money buying money politics in Nigeria, which is not supposed to be. If we want to be honest to ourselves and committed to the development of our nation, we should be upright. Because what is happening now is not taking us anywhere.
Yeah.
And Osun people, the election in Osun should be left for Osun people alone. Not the presidency, not other governors, to all be in Osun to do what? And leave things to Osun people, let them decide their fate. Because there is no point other governors from other states to go to Osun and campaign. Campaign for who? Campaign for what? Let people in Osun decide. Please do not interfere and do not interrupt. So there is a fault in the system. And I'm sorry, because I am committed to Nigeria. We have no nation in Nigeria, and we have to be honest to ourselves and tell the truth whenever it comes. This system will not take us anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mukhtar. In fact, we've run out of time, and it's a beautiful place that Mukhtar took us to. Nigeria. What happened to Nigeria in the middle of this melee? All the politicians are going to come out and make as if that is their ideal. But then that's what they say. But when you see the way, the conduct that then follows, we're talking about vote rigging here. I mean, sorry, vote buying. Which somebody has said is as bad as rigging, if not even worse and more dangerous. And then the other thing is that I don't think any state can say that it is immune to all of that. We don't do anything like that here. So it's really, it's a Nigerian condition, but we know the ideal. We're not going to be quiet. We're not going to get tired of saying the way it should be. And that's just the way it is. I want to thank you both, gentlemen. Benga Sholoki, public affairs commentator and spokesperson for Coalition for Peaceful Elections, and Dr. Jide Johnson.
It's a pleasure
Dr.
to meet
Johnson,
you.
Deputy Provost, Nigerian Institute of Journalism, although Mazi Okorafor, he made you provost straight away. I don't know where that leads me. So, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to
know, our pleasure. So that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.